climate change and how the impact of climate change and on flooding, and how flooding is the worst natural. The concept of river flooding, which occurs over a longer time frames due to prolonged rainfall or snowfall, leading to rising river levels and eventual overflow.
Germany, for example, and this is where there's really intense rain that falls down into the river, and the river can't carry it away quickly enough to the ocean, so the river level rises, it bursts its banks and goes into the town or the city.
So to define flash flooding, which is the next example I'm going to be discussing, is flash flooding can be defined as a sudden and fast-moving process often triggered by snowmelt or rainfall, or by rapid snowmelt catching people in communities unaware, catching people of communities unaware. And uh, the overall message here is that it has to have to highlight that it has an impact of the it has the impact of climate change and on flooding and its wide range of consequences on the environment and the economy and human well-being by presenting scientific explanation of real-world examples and potential solutions to underscore the urgency of addressing climate change to migrate warnings of effects of flooding.
Flooding is a similar story. Too much rain, very intense rain falls in a particular place, and the land can't take it away. It often happens in cities, and we're talking about sewers and drains there which get overfilled. And again, we've seen horrible examples around the world, in central China, in New York, and in London in recent times.
The last type of flooding is coastal flooding, and coastal flooding is when this often happens when cyclones and or hurricanes and the fierce winds uh, of that bring blow the water up onto the land, uh, often reaching out to the sea. So this brings the water, like the wind, brings the water from the ocean onto the land, and again, this can catch people off guard too, like flash floodings. And environmental impacts of this is loss of biodiversity, communication of, of water sources, and destruction of habitats. Economic uh, recompression, economic repercussions to in, damage to infrastructure, loss of property, and impact on agriculture and human uh, to and human human toll. Sorry, human toll is a health risk and society inability. So, and then moving on to solutions and migration strategies, adaptations of measures, building recent infrastructure, and impending, and this uh, and planting an early warning system, and enhancing uh, warnings so when these natural disasters happen. Uh, so I'm just gonna conclude here also before you get the last example of coastal floodings. Uh, to recap the key points, a link between climate change and warning, worsening floods. About climate change and worsening floods. Call to action, urgent individuals, communities, and governments to practice steps to migrate climate change and impacts on flooding. My final thoughts, the future is in our hands and action. We need to take action and implement safeguard to protect our planet and inhabitants. Because we're all living on this planet. We need to do everything we can so we don't destroy it, basically. And hope you enjoyed and learned about how flooding impacts our climate. So I'm now going to provide the last example.
When cyclones or hurricanes and the fierce winds that they bring blow the water up onto the land, often breaching the sea defences.